Hey y'all, it's LaDonna. Welcome back to At Home with Marmy. And I'm so excited today. Is finally the day that we're going to talk about the Coca-Cola cake. And for some of you that may not know what I'm talking about is a few weeks ago, maybe even a month now, who can remember, who can keep up with time anymore. But I was telling you about a list that I found in Southern Living of 30 vintage Southern cakes that need to have a comeback. And so as I read through that list, I had a lot of fond memories thinking about ones that I can remember my mother making, my grandmother making, my aunts, just extended family, church members, my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, and even myself making in my younger days. And I thought, oh, this would be so much fun. I'm going to do this as a series on my YouTube channel. So the first cake that I chose from the list was the Coca-Cola cake. That's a true Southern classic, as we know, because now Cracker Barrel, that's one of their staple items on their menu. I mean, how much more Southern does it get than Cracker Barrel? So I got the recipe. I had one from my mother that was handwritten, and it was really hard to read, and it's old, and it's been splattered on, and the pages is turned red, and my mother doesn't have a good penmanship. So I just happened to be flipping through this book, which anytime I get this book out, it's about to be good. Everything in this book is good. This is the Waldron Assembly of God cookbook from the 70s. And, of course, my mother, my grandmother, my aunts, my great-aunts, my cousins, my friends, even myself contributed. And I was just a little kid. My mom just put a recipe in there with my name on it. But contributed to this cookbook, and it's really, really some of my family and extended family's favorite recipes are in here. This copy just happens to be my grandmother's, which I recently found in my mother's stuff when I was going through it, but I also have my mother's and also have mine. So it's good to look at them all three different ones because we all have different notes in them. We have different recipes. But in my grandmother's copy, I found a Coke cake recipe, not in the book, but it was the one that she had taken out of a newspaper article and taped it to the book. So that means it was something that she wanted to keep up with. Because we don't lose this book. We guard this book with our life. So, anyways, I'm just going to briefly read the ingredients to you. I'll try to type it and put it down in the description for you. But this is for the Coke cake, and this is the recipe that I used. 2 cups all-purpose flour, 2 cups of sugar. Yeah, it's going to be good. 2 sticks of butter. I don't use anything else, but please don't put something else in this cake. It's got to be butter. 3 tablespoons of cocoa, 1 cup of Coke, half a cup of buttermilk, 2 eggs well beaten, 1 teaspoon vanilla, 1 teaspoon soda, 2 cups of small marshmallows. You're going to combine the sugar, the flour, and the soda and set that aside. In a saucepan, you're going to heat the Coke, the cocoa, and the butter. You want that to all combine real well. Then you're going to add in the flour mixture. And I stir it while I'm adding it in, and I add it in very slowly, kind of like you would do a gravy method, because that's just how I do it. I think it's easier to get it to incorporate without any lumps in it. Sometimes you may have some lumps in your sugar, or you might have some lumps in your cocoa, whatever. I just like to whisk it in, and that's how I do it. Or you could use a wooden spoon, whatever you want to do. However you do it. You do you, baby, and I'll do me. But I use a whisk. And then you're going to add the flour mixture. Then you're going to add the eggs. Now, you have to be careful. I usually take it off the heat. I usually stick my finger in it, just to be honest with you, to see what the temperature feels like. Now, I know some of you are germophobic and you're not going to do that. We'll get your little thermometer out and use it. But I just stick my finger in it. If it's not hot, I will go ahead and add the eggs in. You want to stir it while you're adding the ends. Temper the eggs. That's the technical term. you just want to be careful that the liquid is not too hot, because you don't want to cook the eggs, just want to incorporate them, like you do for a pie. All right, so then you're going to add the marshmallows and the buttermilk. And I would say you want to get the marshmallows completely melted. And sometimes those little suckers, they can be persistently hard. I don't mean hard, but they don't melt sometimes. All right, then you're going to put all of that into a greased pan. I just use a 9x13 pan. And you're going to cook that at 350 until it's done. That's what the instructions say. Or about 45 minutes. I found out that 45 minutes might be a little bit too long. Either that or I had it too far down in my oven. But mine was just a tad on the dry side. Okay, so and then for the frosting, you're going to need 1 stick of butter. Don't use something else. Use real butter, or just don't do this cake if you're not going to use real butter. I mean, what is the deal about real butter anyway? It's better for your health if you eat it in moderation. Of course, this cake is not about moderation. That's why it's a Southern classic. It's not about moderation. All right, so you're going to have 1 stick of butter, 6 tablespoons of Coke, which comes out to about 3 ounces of Coke. That's easier for you to measure. I don't like doing the 6 tablespoons. It's a little bit more than a third, but it's not quite a half. So there you go. It's 2 tablespoons of cocoa and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And you're going to heat that until it's hot. That's what the directions say. Heat it till it's hot. I'd say stir it continuously. Pretty much continuously. Some people don't add the vanilla until after it's all stirred, until I take it off the heat. But, however you do it, you do you, baby, and I'll do me. All right, so then when you get that all mixed up, you're going to add in 1 box of powdered sugar. Don't you love these old recipes? 1 box of powdered sugar. That's about 2 cups, folks. It's like a 16-ounce box of powdered sugar. Then you're going to add 2 cups of chopped nuts. And then I got parentheses, pecans. Well, we say pecans in Texas, but anyway. Cracker Barrel don't put pecans on there, so it's just a preference if you want it or not. I put about 3/4 of a cup on one side of the cake, and then I left the other side plain. And so that's it. You don't need the mixer. It's a really easy cake to put together and cook. To me, it tastes really good. It's not one of my family's favorite cakes, and I probably won't cook it again for a while. Not because it's not good, but it's just not our favorite. And, because we are all continuously on a diet around here most of the time, if I'm going to use extra calories on a cake, I want it to be something that I absolutely love and hope that they're serving in heaven. You know what I mean? And the cupcake is good, but, I don't have to have another piece if I don't ever have one again. But this is what it looks like. It's delicious. It's just not our family favorite. So, I hope that you enjoy this video today, and I hope that you got some value from it, some entertainment maybe even, and maybe you'll look up a Coke cake recipe. If you like the Cracker Barrel one, I would just Google see if you can find you a copycat Coca-Cola cake recipe on the internet. If not, you can use mine. Like I said, I'm going to put it in the description for you. So I hope you have a wonderful Saturday, and we will. That Saturday is the day that you bake on, right? That's the day that you bake on. Okay, I'm just making sure everybody knows that. So enjoy your cake today, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.